Hey there, it's Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage. I'm a women's life coach that focuses on helping women who have gone through a divorce recreate, reinvent, and thrive so they can start manifesting and living lives they absolutely love. Now, today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to start a series that I'm going to start calling Story Time. And I want to just start making videos, and you guys can let me know if you like this or not, but I want to start doing videos that bring up a story of my past, my experience, and then connect it to some wisdom that may be helpful for you. And the reason I wanted to do this, I was thinking about all the people. I have to admit, I've lived an adventurous and exciting life, and I've met a lot of amazing human beings on this earth, on this planet. Some of them famous, some of them not necessarily famous, but they have all imparted on me some level of wisdom that made me think deep. And so I want to start doing stories about some of the people I've met, but also just some of my own personal stories that led me to become the woman that I am today. So today's story is going to be about a professor, Dr. David Wilkins. He is a Native American tribal professor here in the United States. I believe he's now at the University of Minnesota. I met him a long time ago. And so I'm going to talk about a little bit about what he shared about this idea of sovereignty and why, as a divorced woman, I mean, it's literally for anybody, but I really want to tie this into this concept of why it's so important as a divorced woman, this concept of sovereignty. So before we jump to this content, as always, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe. Let other people you know, especially women that have gone through a divorce, know about this channel so I can push more information about how to rebuild your life after divorce. All right, let's jump into this content. Now, as I said, a long time ago when I was in I was in graduate school. I did an internship with Wake Forest University and in North Carolina. And at that time, the internship was with a specialized unit. Now, I was going to a different college. Long story short, I knew someone at Wake Forest, and that professor was able to get me an internship. And my background, of course, my graduate degree is in public health. So at that time, when I was getting my graduate degree for public health, I was looking at internships that dealt with community health, that were community focused. And this particular professor was in Native American studies, and his tribe was in North Carolina, and he was working on a large project dealing with chronic disease in Native American communities across the United States, but especially in North Carolina. And so anyway, I ended up going to an event for this internship that was like a tribal event. And, there was a lot of speakers. There was just a lot of people talking about tribal issues. And when I say tribal issues, I'm talking about Native peoples of the United States, Aboriginal peoples, and some of the things that they've experienced, historical trauma, issues dealing with reservation and land and language. And I'm not going to go into like the depths of it, of course, chronic disease. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I don't want this to turn to a history video. But if you want to learn more about Native American Aboriginal history here in the United States, then I suggest you go online and study about tribes here in the United States, what happened to them, what happened to their people, and learn more about it. So this particular speaker, Dr. David Wilkins, he spoke, and I can't remember everything that he was speaking about, like the main topic, but the fact that all these years later, I remember him tells you how powerful he was as a speaker and how passionate he was about what he was talking about. And from what I can remember and what I know that he talks about in general, because he's online, is this idea of federal policy when it comes to Native tribal nations and, land rights and language rights and just the rights of tribal and Native people. And so this particular speech, he was talking about this idea of sovereignty and that he does not need to own land to know that he is a sovereign being. And that was kind of, again, I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember all, but I just remember him talking about this idea of like, nobody tells me that I'm a free man. Nobody can tell me about sovereignty. Nobody can take land from me or take my language from me or take my people from me because they all live within inside of me. I am free. I have sovereignty of myself. I have autonomy of myself, and no one can take that from me. And I remember him being so passionate about what he was saying. And I wish I could remember everything. I can probably look up YouTube videos where he's probably done similar speeches, but definitely look him up. But the reason why that, number one, it's been years, guys. I'm 43, so that tells you how long it's been since I've been in graduate school. It's like 20 years ago. But the fact that I can remember him and his name and what he spoke about lets you know how deeply that touched me and how I could connect to the humanness of what he was saying as far as having sovereignty inside of himself. And it wasn't just about, my connection wasn't just about the fact that I was doing an internship. It was about the fact that I connected to his humanness. I could connect to him on a soul level about this idea of freedom. Nobody can take that from me. And the reason that I want to tell you this, the reason I wanted to make this a story time is because when you have gone through a divorce, and especially when you're coming out of divorce from a certain personality type, sociopath, a psychopath, personality disorder, or someone who was a narcissist or displayed narcissist personality traits, it is so deeply draining to be in those types of relationships. And when you come out of it, you feel like you've actually escaped out of it, out of the grips of that person. You start to question your freedom. You start to question your sovereignty. And you start to think about all that you lost instead of all that you've gained. And it's easy to get into victimhood mode. Like, oh, look at what they did to me. They were mentally abusive, psychologically abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive. They were financially abusive. Look at what they took from me. Look at what they stole from me. Look at how many years I wasted on that person. Look at all the things that I lost. I am here to tell you what you did not lose is your sovereignty of yourself. And sovereignty of self, like all those things, money, cars, possessions, luxury items, houses, clothes, all those things you can get back. Even time. That's a video for another time, but even your time you can get back. But what you cannot get back, what someone cannot take from you, is the knowingness within yourself and within your soul that you are free. You are free. That is the one thing that no human can take from you. And freedom does not live out here. Freedom lives in here. And so when it comes to sovereignty of the self, you have to recognize that, number one, give yourself some credit. You didn't know what you didn't know. And so getting into a relationship with that person, you did not recognize how manipulative that person was or how abusive that person was for whatever reasons. Maybe you had your own childhood trauma, all the things, but give yourself some compassion. That's number one. The second thing you have to recognize is like, you got out of it. Like you got out of it. Yes, you got yourself into it, but now you're out of it. That is why you're watching this video. You are divorced. You are out of it. It is over. So you had the strength and the courage. You summoned it up out of yourself to get yourself out of that situation. That was you recognizing your sovereignty. That was you recognizing your freedom. That was you being an autonomous, separate human being. The third thing that you have to understand when you leave that situation, yes, it was painful. Yes, it was hurtful. But now you are free. You are physically free. You are mentally free. You are emotionally free. You are financially free. You can be free. And I understand maybe you share children with them. Maybe you have to co-parent. Okay. So yes, maybe some of your time will still be divided with that person. But guess what? There are ways around that. So you can still be free. And you choose how much energy you allow yourself to give to that person, how much real estate they take up in your mind and in your soul and your body. You can choose that. The moment that I understood after my divorce, this concept of sovereignty of self was the moment that changed my life. Because for so long, even after the divorce, after I escaped, I was still punishing myself instead of recognizing like, no, you are free. You are free. You are physically free. You are mentally free. You are a free woman. And you can do, be, and have anything you choose because you have autonomy. You have sovereignty of self. And it is from that space I was able to rebuild and recreate my life. Did it take time? Yes. Was it easy? No. There were challenges. There were ups and downs. I had to heal. I had to go to therapy. I had to get coaching myself. I had to change who I was in order to fully recognize my freedom and my sovereignty and step into that every single day. And so I am telling you that you have sovereignty over yourself, just like I learned from Dr. David Wilkins. Look him up. I'm sure he's on YouTube. Years ago, he was talking about sovereignty of a nation, of a people, of his tribe. And you can use that same concept when it comes to the individual. Allow yourself to take full advantage of your freedom, because you are free, no matter who or where you are, because they can't take this. That's what they can't steal. They can't steal your soul. So I hope you enjoyed this story time video. Let me know in the comments if you like more story time. I've met some really interesting people over my lifetime, and it has been a true adventure. So let me know what you thought about the video, and let me know especially how you are stepping into your sovereignty now that you are divorced. Always like, share, and subscribe. If you want more of my products, my 30-day journal, as well as my affirmation boost, is in the links in the description. Click on it to go to my website and get those products. If you want to donate to the channel, definitely take a look at my link below to my tip jar if you want to donate and make this channel even better than it already is. All right, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.